Hi everybody, I'm here again to read Chill. A little chilly in the front today, so I've got on my jacket and scarf, but they're recommending scarves now. It can cover your face, stop you from touching your face, which is easier said than done. Quick note today, a little shout out to Sherry Lee Bell. She's a teacher friend of mine who contacted me about doing these readings, not knowing I'd already started. And she asked about teachers being able to send in questions for me. And yes, by all means, any questions? I'm also going to include in the little description below the video a link to lesson plans for Chill, done up by the publisher or done up by an educator. And there's a link for it, so I'm going to put it below if you want to use it, and if you want to share these with your kids, students, or your children if you're homeschooling, and if you want to ask questions, please feel free to send them in. You can just put them in the comment section below, or go to my website, colinfrizzell.com, and you can get send it to my email, colin@colinfrizzell.com, or contact me, whichever the multiple ways. I'm also on Twitter, Facebook, whatever mode of communication best suits you. So we're going to continue. Where did we leave off? Okay, so we're all the way to chapter 10 now, apparently. So Chill and Sean haven't been talking. They've been working throughout the semester together on the mural, but there's been tension since Chill questioned, didn't really question, but threw some shade on Mr. Sphincter, who Sean is now looking up to. So here we go. Chill and I ended up working behind a large tarp so that no one in the school would see the mural until it was completed. We were allowed to hook speakers up to my iPod as long as we kept it low. It made it easier to work without talking, less awkward. I've got to go, I told him one day. Where? He asked. The bell won't go for a while. I want to get to class early to give Mr. Sphincter my book. You finished it? That's great, he said, with what could have been taken for genuine excitement. Can I read it? Yeah, sure, I told him. I'll get you a copy when I get a chance. You can email it to me. Okay, I said, collecting my things. Is it okay if I go? Of course. I started to get out from under the tarp when he called after me. Sean, he said. What? Good luck. Sure. Impatiently, I waited at the front of the class for the bell to ring and for Mr. Sphincter to appear. I think the rest of the class was there, although I didn't notice. I hadn't noticed them for most of the semester. Mr. Sphincter came in wearing a bright green jacket and a red bow tie. His glory was blinding me as he approached. Mr. Fitzsimmons, having trouble finding your seat? I finished it, I told him, almost bubbling over. What did you finish? The book. This is an English class, Mr. Fitzsimmons. You're going to have to be more specific as to which book you finished. My book, sir. The one I've been writing. What? He said. Oh, yes, that. Good for you. I remember when I finished my first book, it was quite a feeling. My publisher was almost salivating when I gave it to him. The size of it alone was intimidating and struck him with awe. He got taller when he talked about his book. But enough about me. We must get on with studying the works of my peers. Now, take your seat. I have a copy for you, sir. You do? Oh, yes, of course you do. Well, I can't very well read it now, can I? Set it on the desk and take your seat. You will read it, though, I asked. Yes, yes, he said impatiently. Now take your seat. I set the manuscript gently on his desk before returning to my seat. A little minty. I sat down, twitching with excitement. I looked over at Chill. He seemed to be looking at me the way you look at someone who just received bad news, like their cat had just died or something. I couldn't figure out why at first. Then I figured that his jealousy had just turned to self-pity. I gave him a sympathetic smile in return. Maybe I'd been too hard on him. Well, thanks to Mr. Fitzsimmons' little delay, I'm going to have to do only one of the students' careers today. And who's the lucky person? He picked up my manuscript and tossed it in a drawer before shuffling through the last few papers and pulling one out. Miss Langdon, he said. You want to be? He quickly skimmed the paper and laughed. A doctor? Brains aside, with your clumsiness, you'd be lucky. You'd be more likely to cause them injuries than cure them. No. You'd best go for a rethink on that. Perhaps picking a profession which the work environment has no sharp edges. But nothing with small children, please. You'd kill them for certain. I heard a snap and looked over at Chill. He was holding a broken pencil. Mr. Hollinground, is there a problem? None I wish to discuss, Chill said with confidence and authority that I used to admire. They stared at each other for a while before Mr. Sphincter finally spoke. Good. Now, everyone take out your copies of Romeo and Juliet. We'll be working on it for the final weeks, he said. This play has a lot to teach you. It shows you not only that children should always listen to their elders, but the dire consequences which result when they don't. As we all took out our copies of Shakespeare, I saw Chill slip his sketchpad into his notebook. For the first while, he was doing a good job of covering it up, looking up to the front and then down at the pad, as if taking notes on the passages that Mr. Sphincter wanted us to pay closest attention to. But as the class progressed, Chill's sketching became more frantic. Mr. Hollinground, the teacher said. Mr. Hollinground! Chill dropped his pencil. Yes, sir. It's nice to see you taking such detailed notes. It's a great play, sir, Chill replied. Despite what you may think, Mr. Hollinground, I am not an idiot. Now bring your sketchpad to the front. Sketchpad, sir? Bring it! Chill looked down at the sketchpad and then up to Mr. Sphincter. I could only imagine what he had drawn in his anger. I was sure it wasn't going to be complimentary to Mr. Sphincter. Chill took a breath. With his usual sureness, he got to his feet, sketchpad in hand, and started to make his way to the front. Pick up your feet when you walk, Mr. Hollinground, barked the teacher. At first, everyone else in the class, I couldn't believe what I'd just heard. I knew Mr. Sphincter didn't notice his outside class, but could we really be that invisible to him? The only one who didn't seem the least bit surprised was Chill. He kept moving. Pick them up, Mr. Sphincter repeated. Chill stopped. I can't, he said. You can't, or you won't. I have a bad leg. What do you mean by bad? The teacher said. You sprained your ankle? Perhaps tripping over that bag you leave lying around the school? It's been that way since birth, sir. Oh, Mr. Sphincter said, making it obvious that he had just never noticed before. Well, I guess God's punished you enough then, hasn't he? Take your seat. Chill spun around and returned to his chair without looking at anyone except Sarah. Sarah looked at him without pity, without judgment, with just pure understanding. I realized then what Chill saw in her. At the end of the class, Sarah took extra care with her books. Chill rushed out of the class, and I went after him. He didn't mean anything by it, I said. Which part? About your leg. He really didn't know. What about Sarah? And everyone else he's taken the enjoyment in belittling. Even you're just too... I'm just too what? Chill shook his head. I hope he helps you out, Sean. I hope he does all the things that he says he's going to do. But I can't turn a blind eye to all the things he's done. And he walked away. Okay, so I'll set the teacher's the lesson plan in the below the video, and yeah, by all means, send in any questions and a shout out to Cher. Thank you for contacting me, and I hope this is helpful, and I hope all those doing homeschooling are doing well, and the teachers and the librarians and everybody. It's great to keep things going in our isolation. Okay, thanks, peace.